Bronco finally stops. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I had to do to pair up a master cylinder with those Thunderbird calipers we put on. And it's a lot of trial and error. So whether you're doing this to your Bronco or your F-150 or even your F-250, this will kind of show you the process of how to match brakes, master cylinders, brake boosters, pedal ratio, all that good stuff. So if you like this kind of stuff, stay tuned. I make videos like this every Wednesday, so thanks for following along. So what ended up happening was my other video, I put Thunderbird calipers on. Now I believe they're about 16% bigger or so surface area. So when you increase the volume of a caliper like that, you got to upgrade your master cylinder and sometimes your booster. So this video I'm going to kind of show you what I experimented with and what I eventually landed on. But if you want the quick answer, settled on a 1.16" bore master cylinder. That's about it. No changing the pedal, no changing the brake booster, no messing with the proportioning valve. It's as simple as that. Upgrade your master cylinder and your brakes will be good. So I suppose let's get into it. So if you tuned in last time and saw my Thunderbird front caliper upgrades, then this is part 2. So in this video I'm going to show you master cylinder upgrade. So the last video didn't do too well, even though it's probably one of my favorite videos to make. I've done a ton of research on this. Really happy with the work I'm doing. If you get anything, I just want to help one person. If I can help one person, this is all going to be worth it. So we have a 1-inch master cylinder. We're upgrading to 1 1/4 inch. So first thing I tried doing was I took a 1 1/4 inch master cylinder. It's about the biggest size you'd want. And I got that thinking, well, if I need to upgrade the pressure or if I need higher pressure or more work out of the brake booster, I'll just put a longer pedal in, or I'll alter the fulcrum mechanism that goes between the pedal and the brake booster. So I'm going to show you that. Let's look at that. I'm just showing you the pedal movement here. This is with an 11:1 pedal ratio, where brake pedal was way too spongy, plus it just still didn't provide the pressure I needed with that 1 1/4 master cylinder. Putting the original back in. The linkage on the when I flipped the fulcrum, just way too spongy, but it still didn't lock it up. So combination of way too much pedal movement made it way spongy, and the 1 1/4 inch is just too big, I think. I'm gonna go down to 1 1/16 inch. So once I got the 1 1/4 inch master on, I had a super hard brake pedal, and I was way happy with that, because even with the truck off, I had a slightly spongy and then hard master cylinder with the 1-inch bore. Now the 1-inch bore was the OEM bore. However, I think my master cylinder was leaking. It was bypassing internally. And in the last video I pointed out I had a leak down my brake booster. The internal leak was making it a lot spongier feeling than it actually should have been. So the sponginess was from it bleeding past those O-rings. And it's very possible I never bled that correct from the beginning. I used a different bleeding technique in this whole thing from both master cylinders, so it could have been that. I'm gonna try something new. Instead of bench bleeding it, I got it hooked up to the master cylinder, and I bought these Dorman universal standard master cylinder bleeder kit. So I got the big loops up in there so I can see it from the cap, and keep in mind this will start squirting out once I have good pressure, but I just want to make sure I'm doing a good job bleeding these. So but it's possible the 1-inch bore would work. However, everybody I know that's running 37s on their dentside Fords, they cannot lock up 37-inch tires. I messaged a few of them that I got my tires to lock up. They didn't believe me. So once I realized that the 1 1/4 inch was going to be way too hard, I ended up turning that fulcrum completely upside down. And so that, instead of giving me a 3.5 or so brake pedal ratio to 1. I ended up getting a 6.5 doubled, just about. So I was right around 11.8 to 1 brake pedal ratio. And even though the 1 1/4 was super hard on the 3 to 5, once I went to that nearly 12 to 1, it was super spongy. It would hit the floor, and I still couldn't get it to lock up the brakes or even brake good at all. I mean, it was noticeably worse. So I quickly realized that wasn't going to work, and I was going to have to go down in cylinder. This is a master cylinder off of a 1985 E3500. And all you would need to do to make this fit is drill out these holes a little bit. See how I slotted them? Drill those out, and this one does have the lines on the same side. And this here is 1 1/8". So that's not quite a 56% upgrade. I think it's about a 33% upgrade, somewhere along those lines. And that'll save you heavily on brake line work. So now I'm gonna get to it. Okay, have the 1 1/16 master cylinder on. Oh, finger crushers right here. So now that the master cylinder is on, everything's back the way it should be. All I had to do left was bleed the brakes. I was by myself, so I just put a little canister up there and just used siphoning and gravity. So a few bubbles came out. This is the second wheel I did. It bled really good, way better than with the last master cylinder. I actually ended up buying some speed bleeders off Amazon, and they were terrible, mostly because they were Chinese crap, but just very poor quality. Definitely not going to work for me, especially not on the trail. One of them actually locked up and wouldn't let any fluid out, so I'm not going to use those again. Not sure how well I'm going to get this, but I'm going to slam on the brakes here. Hopefully we can hear a skirt. All right, we're going to do the hard stop from 45. I'm going to try to hold my breath so I don't get sick. 3, 2, 1. I heard it that time. So you can see we got the brakes working good. We started with a leaking master cylinder, and I could have gone right to the 1 1/16, but then it would have always been in the back of my mind, well, what if I go a little bigger? What if I get just a little bit bigger? So I thought if I went all the way to the extreme, it'd be a lot better to backtrack. I'd feel more content with my decision. So every 16th makes a massive difference. If you're trying to build brakes for your custom equipment, every 16th matters. The first step is you got to have a hard pedal. Once you have a hard pedal, then you can actually diagnose what you need to do. Hydro boost would have been an option for me, but it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of routing, and I would have had to port my power steering pump different or my power steering box. It just really wasn't for me, and I didn't want to run out of steering fluid. I didn't want to associate with all those other problems. So I also could have done a better job managing the pedal. A pure 6 to 1 would have been great, but it was really not worth the effort to use that brake booster, that master cylinder, and modify the fulcrum to make everything line up good. It was going to be a lot of fabrication. I'm really happy that the pedal's still hard and I can lock up the wheels. So in the next video, I'm going to be building that Ford 9-inch rear disc brake kit. I'm going to try to do Eldorado brake calipers, and I'm going to try to build everything else myself. So I'm going to show you that. And this master cylinder is big enough. It's supposed to be able to run both, no problem. We might need to do a little bit of modifications to the proportioning valve, but other than that, this is a success. The Bronco's way more fun to drive now that it's got good brakes. While I was testing it, somebody actually pulled out in front of me out of their driveway, and I locked them up. It was good. It was good to have that kind of braking, especially with the future plans of upgrading horsepower, and I want to go out and wheel this thing. So thanks for watching. Trying to put out videos every Wednesday. I'm recording this the night before I'm putting it up, but I appreciate you watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Thank you.